We deserve a governor who stands up for law-abiding New Yorkers, doesn't put illegals first, but actually puts New Yorkers first. I appreciate
Rather than going after the viral moment, I suggest you look at the facts.
I'm standing up for New Yorkers.
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering. America, welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest newsmakers of the week. Ever since I saw this exchange last Thursday from the House Oversight Committee involving the governor of the People's Republic of New York, Kathy Hochul, and New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, I knew I wanted to talk about it on the channel because it's meaningful on many levels. It's meaningful for the current debate we're having since the Trump administration has come back into power for this second term concerning illegal immigration enforcement. It's relevant also because Kathy Hochul's a buffoon, as we know it, and Elise Stefanik has been a buffoon slayer in House committee meetings. We've seen it on the channel on several occasions when she's questioned Ivy League presidents and things like that, but also because this matchup here between Hochul and Stefanik may well be a preview of what may be coming to the People's Republic of New York in 2026. Elise Stefanik is said to be one of the leading Republicans to challenge Hochul for the governor's mansion in that year, and to see them square off on an issue that may well be a wedge issue come 2026 is very interesting indeed. We're going to go through this exchange together, but before we do that, I'm just going to ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other shows. And if you like what you're seeing here in this or any other video that you find on this little political channel right here, smash that thumbs up button. Like, comment, share the show with your friends. All that really, really good stuff. Because all that's going to help this channel continue to grow thanks to the YouTube algorithm. As always, gang, thank you so much for all that you do to help grow the channel. You know I appreciate all those efforts. You guys are responsible for us getting to 3,000 subscribers, and we're going to keep on growing thanks to all of you. But if you happen to be a newbie that maybe found the channel for the first time, I hope that this video earns your subscription. As we talk about this tense exchange between New York Governor Kathy Hochul and Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, it took place in the House Oversight Committee last Thursday, and as you'll see, Stefanik is really going to take Hochul to task. She's going to sharply question the governor about New York's sanctuary policies, specifically an executive order that Governor Hochul signed when she first came into office and has renewed 3 times over. She's going to specifically raise concerns about crimes committed by illegal immigrants in the state. And I want to give a little bit of a disclaimer here just to cover my ass. Elise Stefanik is going to bring up some very intense issues. She's going to raise concerns about news items that happen involving very extreme crimes committed allegedly by illegal immigrants. They're going to be graphic in nature. Now, I'm going to do my best to try to censor myself and censor what Stefanik is saying. You'll still get the gist of what she's saying, but we're just trying to stay away from any triggering words here that might misconstrue the message that Stefanik is bringing here, which is not to focus so much on the crimes themselves, but Hochul's role in enabling illegal immigrants to stay and remain within the Empire State and be around to commit these heinous crimes, allegedly.
Everybody got that?
All right, you guys were forewarned and you're still here, which means that you want to watch this exchange between New York Governor Hochul and New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik discussing New York's sanctuary state policies. Those policies can be found in what's called Executive Order 1. It's an executive order signed by the governor when she first took office and has been renewed every year ever since, that basically outlines the framework of New York's sanctuary state policies.
Chair recognizes Ms. Stefanik from New York.
Thank you. Governor Hochul, on your first day in office, you signed Executive Order 1. Is that correct?
I believe it is.
And you extended this executive order not once, not twice, but 3 times, most recently January 16th this year. Is that correct?
If that's what your facts show, I signed countless executive orders.
I would
and
assume you'd
policies
know
and
it's
laws.
Executive Order 1, and this is a continuation of your predecessor's sanctuary state policies, correct? Is included in that.
I want to be sure we are defining sanctuary state properly.
I'll define it for you. It is the policy of the state that state officers or employees shall not disclose information to federal immigration authorities for the purpose of federal civil immigration enforcement. It goes on to say, law enforcement officers may not use resources, equipment, or personnel for the purpose of detecting and apprehending any individual suspected or wanted for violating a civil immigration office. Law enforcement officers have no authority in the state of New York to take any policy action solely because the person is an undocumented alien. That's a quote in your executive orders that you extended. Now, do you know who Sakir Akan is?
I want to get back to the first part
No,
of
I'm
your
asking a question. Do you know who
Well,
Sakir Akan is?
I want to make sure you understand that this simply says that we will cooperate with ICE.
No,
in
it does
all-
not say that. I read what it
We will
says, and let me talk to you about the results. Do you know who Sakir Akan is? You should.
So now, after defining what these sanctuary state policies are, it basically means that local law enforcement, state law enforcement, they can't do anything to assist ICE. No exchange of information or documents, no assistance in any operations, nothing. Don't believe what Hochul was saying. He was saying that we cooperate with federal immigration enforcement. They don't. Now, Elise Stefanik is going to get into some of the more graphic details of some examples of illegal immigrants committing heinous and violent crimes in the People's Republic of New York.
As the governor of New York State. Do you know?
Refresh my recollection.
He was an illegal migrant in New York. And do you know what crime he committed in addition to being here illegally?
No, I do not.
You do not. This was widely reported. He found a 15-year-old girl, threatened her with a metal pole, told her to get into the back seat of his car. He took her clothes off, and he violently raped her in Albany, New York. Do you know who Sebastian Zepeta-Calil is?
I'm sure you'll tell me there's many cases, whether they're
These are
here-
high-profile cases. New Yorkers know about them, and you don't. So let's talk about Sebastian Zepeta-Calil. Do you know who that is?
I don't have the specific details at my disposal, no.
Well, this is an illegal migrant in New York because of your sanctuary state policies. Do you know what crime he committed?
I'm not familiar at this moment.
I bet you're going to be familiar when I remind you. He found a sleeping woman on the subway, lit her on fire, and burned her alive. This is in Kathy Hochul's New York. And as I'm sure you are aware, and I'll remind you, that ICE issued an order to detain this violent criminal, but that was rejected by New York officials due to sanctuary state laws. Now, do you know who Raymond Rojas Basilio is?
I just want to say this. These crimes are horrific.
Because of
condemn them,
your
and I would
sanctuary
say
state policies.
In all of these cases, we would work with ICE to remove
You
them.
did not in this case. They are
If they need
walking
our
on the
assistance.
streets because of your policies in your executive order that you signed 3 times. Now,
And by the way, I'm going to put links to different news stories about each one of these illegal immigrants that Elise Stefanik mentioned in this presentation. Just to go into further detail, when we talk about Sakir, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name, Sakir Akan, he is accused of and actually admitted to committing a violent sexual act against a 15-year-old girl in Albany. He faces a sentence of time served, and he's now expected to be deported. But this is someone who came across the southern border illegally in November of 2023. I wonder who was in charge back then? Oh, yeah, Democrats. He came in asking for asylum, but this guy, and by the way, he's 21 years old. He was arrested last June in a case that sparked controversy here in New York because Albany police officials did not notify the public about the incident, and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security filed a warrant last year in Albany County Jail where Akan had remained since his arrest, and they requested that he be turned over to immigration agents upon his release. Guess what didn't happen? He was held up until this year, and in late May, he admitted to this heinous act and got time served. Only after that has he been in ICE hands and expected to be deported. It gets worse with this Sebastian Zepeta-Calil, the Sebastian Zepeta-Calil. You probably heard about this story in national news. This is an illegal immigrant who set a person on fire. I mean, you want to talk about one of the most horrible things to do to a human being. This was caught on camera. He torched a woman to death in a Brooklyn subway train because he was so blacked out drunk. And then he sees the video of it and is like, oh my God, I did that? He allegedly told NYPD detectives, oh damn, that's me? According to reports from the New York Post. Just imagine all this. If New York and New York City didn't have these policies in place, these immigrants, these illegal immigrants, would not have harmed these people. At least these two people that we talked about just now, they would still be alive and unharmed. The exchanges get even more intense because when we come back from the break, you'll see that Elise Stefanik has even further examples of New York's sanctuary policies being the cause of illegal immigrants committing violent acts in our jurisdiction. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. So I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do this again. I'm going to issue another warning here. We're about to get really, really graphic with some really unspeakable acts involving minors. If you don't want to deal with that and you get the gist of what Elise Stefanik has been saying about sanctuary policies and the violent byproduct of illegal immigrant violent crime that comes along with it, I totally understand you may want to skip to the conclusion. But if you're able to stomach it, I'm going to go forward with Elise Stefanik's continued grilling of New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
3 times. Now, Raymond Rojas Basilio, do you know who that is?
I'm telling you this. I will
You don't know
explain to
who
you
it
the
is.
policies of New York. We cooperate with, I know you're just
You do
trying
not,
to.
you do not. Specifically,
Miss-
ICE was told not to detain this individual, and he burned a woman alive on the New York subways in Kathy Hochul's New York. So I will keep on going. What about Raymond Rojas Basilio? Do you know who that is?
I'm going to tell you our overall policy, which will address all this.
I'll tell
We
you
do
who
not-
that is. He is an illegal who molested an 11-year-old in our state because, again, of your sanctuary state policies. This illegal was shielded from federal immigration enforcement and able to commit this heinous crime. And what about Wilson Castillo-Diaz? Do you know who that
I am
is?
telling you this. We do cooperate fully with ICE in criminal prosecution. Our sanctuary
You're not advocating for
regulations
these victims.
only deal with
This is a
civil
5-year-old who
enforcement.
was raped
Civil
on Long
enforcement.
Island in Nassau County. You are not advocating on behalf of these victims. You are shielding illegals. Even in your opening statement,
That is
you
not true.
prioritize putting illegals first.
That is
And that's the message we should be taking from this exchange. Kathy Hochul's sanctuary state policies put illegal immigrants over New Yorkers. New Yorkers have been suffering under the burden of this illegal immigration and these sanctuary policies. And we saw it all throughout 2024, 2023, when you had that crush of hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants being left at the doorstep of the People's Republic of New York. You saw the dysfunctioning government, the overburden on our budget to house and clothe and to assist these people based upon these sanctuary policies. We've seen the infighting and rancor between Eric Adams and Kathy Hochul on this issue. And while New York has gotten past that, and we don't seem to be having a lot of illegal immigration crossing the border now that Donald Trump is the president, we're now seeing a return to the favorability from the left of these sanctuary policies, the same policies that overtaxed many left-leaning state governments almost to the breaking point. We heard them talking about needing federal funding and how the Biden administration had turned a blind eye to their grievances. We talked about that all throughout 2024. There are videos on our channel that I'll link to some in the description, as well as in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. You'll see them in a few minutes. So this is a wedge issue that I think Stefanik wants to take advantage of, not only to highlight the bad leadership of Kathy Hochul and how bad these sort of policies are, but because this election is coming up in 2026. And the argument between the two here is going to exhibit just that, how they're both going to be posturing for 2026.
Rapes of young girls, beatings of NYPD cops by illegals who are here under Kathy Hochul's failed policies, burning New Yorkers alive. This is Kathy Hochul's New York. It's one of the many reasons why you're hemorrhaging support from hardworking New York families.
These are horrific crimes, and they're heartbreaking.
They're horrific crimes that are committed on your watch. You signed this executive order on your first day in office. You signed it again and again this January. We deserve a governor who stands up for law-abiding New Yorkers, doesn't put illegals first, but actually puts New Yorkers first. I appreciate
Rather than
the
going
chairman's...
after the viral moment, I suggest you look at the
No.
facts.
I'm standing up for New Yorkers.
No.
Rather than addressing the illegals in New York, you are prioritizing your far-left sanctuary state policies, which you put in place with executive orders. Instead of advocating for
cooperate
victims,
in all
a
those
5-year-old
cases.
who
We
was raped,
cooperate with ICE.
you did not. They were
We
released because
cooperate
of
with
sanctuary
ICE.
state
We
policies in New
cooperate
York
with
State.
law
No
enforcement.
amount of words is going to clean up your failed record and these horrific crimes committed in sanctuary state that you created. And with that, I
Your
yield back.
representation, the
Now, let's call it like we see it here. We certainly understand sanctuary policies are bad objectively because of the tax it puts on our economy, the tax it puts on our law enforcement, and these horrific crimes that we keep hearing about. And they may be just isolated incidents in the context of overall data. But when you hear about this needless violence, this unnecessary violence, because these people are finding solace in our borders, in our state borders, you can't help but be outraged about the issue. Now, in calling things the way we see them, you can see Elise Stefanik doing a little bit of campaigning here. This is Kathy Hochul's New York. This is the product of your policies. Yeah, we see the naked campaigning here. And Kathy Hochul did call her out about a viral moment, but Kathy Hochul also isn't clean here because she's repeating her own inaccurate statements like
You talk funny.
we cooperate with ICE. Sorry, it's late while I'm recording, and sometimes I just glitch out. Sorry about that. But you see both sides are politically posturing here because they know this is a possible matchup in 2026. The exchange has value in and of itself in discussing the pros and cons of sanctuary policy. The pros being that you're acting humanely towards these people and, no person is illegal and all the stuff that left-leaning government wants you to think. We've also seen the bad side of it in 2024, seeing economies taxed, seeing money going towards illegal immigration that should be going towards those citizens in need of additional assistance. And we saw many communities, many minority communities in these sanctuary jurisdictions feeling that they've been left behind in favor of these illegal immigrants. And we've seen the ugliness. We've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly in this clip here. And we've seen the politicking. What do you guys think about all this? Was Elise Stefanik just here farming for clips and trying to get some sound bites together for her possible, nay, even imminent run against her in 2026? Was Kathy Hochul right in saying that this was all about politics and not about the substance of the policies? To me, I see a little bit of right and wrong in both sides here. But what do you think? Let's get into the comments together and discuss this video. And as always, like and share this video with your friends. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other shows. I want to know what you guys think for real here. And try to leave the partisan hat off. I understand if you're a Republican, you love Stefanik right now. That's cool. I like Stefanik as well. But let's have a real discussion about this video, as well as all the other shenanigans and buffoonery happening every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.